to this business, if you want to succeed fast, you got to get excited. You got to get excited about what you're doing. You got to get excited about where you're going. Now, I know some of you are looking at me like, but Julian, I am excited. Listen, tell your face. Because here's the deal. If people can't tell that you're excited about what you're doing, how can you expect other people to be excited about what you're doing? Right. So repeat after me. Change your face.
Change your face.
Change your finances.
Change your finances.
Change your face.
Change your face.
Change your finances.
Change your finances.
All right, so let me ask one more time. Who's excited?
Woo!
My name is Julian Doan. For those who don't know me, I'm super excited to have the next 19 minutes to share with you as much information as I can, but not just a transference of information, but transformation. Is that okay? Now, I only have 19 minutes. It's not a lot of time. So what I need from you is to put your mental track shoes on, dial in, and have that vision of where you want to go. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, so as we move forward, I want to introduce myself, just we're not complete strangers. The picture you see behind me is 3 major phases in my life. And there are times in life where things happen, and it's so strange, the only answer is it has to be God. It has to be some other architect greater than us that are pulling things together. And oftentimes in life, we don't see the dots connecting, looking forward, but we see it looking back. Does that make sense? You see that first picture that you see up there? Was when I first got started in network marketing 18 years ago. I've been in network marketing almost half my life. I remember walking into my first presentation, meeting Mr. Tim Herr for the first time. He shared with me 2 things that changed my life forever. He says, Julian, well, he didn't say Julian. I was in the back of the room. He didn't know who I was, right? But I felt like he was talking to me. He said, Julian, your mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. So here's what I'm going to ask of you. I'm going to ask you the same thing, to keep an open mind. You see, the challenge is, I love working with brand new people with no experience, because they come in from a blank canvas. They don't know what they don't know. I love working with leaders because they have the experience, but the challenge is sometimes they bring their past experiences into the new opportunity, and they look at it through a filter. Does that make sense? So I'm going to ask you to not look at this as a filter, blank canvas, take that information in, and decide if you like it later. Is that okay? The second thing he said to me, he says, Julian, if you can have everything you want the way you are, you should already have it. So if you want more, you have to become more. And let me share with you why that stood out to me. You see, for me, I grew up from immigrant parents. My parents were Vietnamese and Chinese. And so growing up was very difficult for me already as it is. My parents immigrated here. They brought traditional cultures. They brought a traditional mindset. They also brought traditional trauma. My dad had to escape from Vietnam on a boat. They almost got on one boat, and my aunt got on that boat, but it was so packed they had to get on another boat. Little did they know that first boat they were supposed to get on, the communists already knew, and there was a bomb on it, it went off. So my family brought a lot of trauma when they came here. Brought a lot of traditional values. And for me, I was not the easiest kid to raise, if that makes sense. Right? I didn't do well in school, I didn't get good grades, and finally my parents took me to the doctors to get me checked out. And I have some old mentors in here, some new mentors, some people that have never met me, and I'm going to share with you something that most people don't know, and it's actually something I haven't been comfortable sharing until recently. They brought me to the doctors. I was diagnosed with 2 things. Number 1, ADD. They told me you'll never, it's going to be hard for you to start, it's going to be hard for you to finish, you're going to have a short attention span. And when you're young and they tell you this is how it's going to be, you believe that. Does that make sense? Number 2, they said I have something called ASD, which is Autism Spectrum Disorder. And yes, that means I'm autistic, okay? Now I know I'm looking at some of you, you're like, when I tell people that, they go, you don't look autistic. I'm like, what does an autistic person look like? Usually the second response they give me, they go, does that mean you take everything literally? I'm like, no, that's a kleptomaniac, because they take everything literally. Does that make sense? Poor some base in the back, he's translating. I don't think there's a word for that, right? And when my parents found that out, they were somewhat relieved, because they just thought I was BAD. Does that make sense? They're like, ASD sounds better than BAD, right? Maybe there's hope for him. And so when Tim Herr shared that with me, I was like, man, I could change my life. Because think about it, network marketing is powerful. You come to this meeting, they take you as you are. They give you the skill sets to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to go. Most environments are not like that. Now, this picture is also very, very special. Oh my God. All right, this picture is also very special because I got started in network marketing September 22nd, 2005. My first 3 months, I didn't have success. I didn't have results, and I was going to quit. I called my upline. I said, hey, I don't think this is for me. My parents are negative. I don't even have friends to begin with. I joined this to make friends, and I didn't realize you got to bring people to make money. So I don't think this is going to work out. And he said to me, he says, trust me, you need to go to convention. Convention changes lives. He says, in fact, you're not even in the business, you go to a convention. And I'll tell you why this is very special, because when I came to this convention, and again, this is how everything's full circle, Anaheim, we're in Anaheim. That convention, I saw a young Mr. Danny Bay get promoted to a top position in that company. He was the youngest and fastest person to hit that position. And it was significant for me, because growing up, the heroes I had, the people I looked up to, didn't look like me. And as he was sharing his story, he had the two things that I realized I wanted in my life. Number one, he was a man that was respected. And number two, he was a man that was useful. Because in this industry, you can't make it to the position you're at without helping a lot of people. And the reason why that was significant for me, because most of my life, I was never taken seriously. No one believed in me. I was useless. No one would count on me. No one would ask me for anything. I was the butt of every single joke. And Mr. Danny Bay actually doesn't even know this, but when I saw that, I said, it burned in my mind. I said, one day, I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to be the fastest and youngest to hit a top position. I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. It took me a while to get there, though. Thank God I got started at 18. Does that make sense? But I never told Danny this, but my journey in network marketing was very, very difficult. I went through a lot of ups and downs. And that promotion, I was so glad that he had it on DVD, because I ripped it, because, you know, I'm Asian, that's what we do, right? Copy, right? Just kidding, right? And during my tough times, there were so many times I wanted to quit. Times I was homeless, living in my car. My parents disowned me. And I would watch this video over and over again, just watching that, just to remind myself why I did this. And I thought, if I quit, what am I going to quit to? I'm already in this deep. It's possible. Why not do it? And I would remember crying myself to sleep, watching Mr. Danny Bay's video, reminding myself that it was going to work. Now, what's crazy about goals is if you want it bad enough, you're going to get it. It just might not always come in the form that you think, in the way that you think. And I share that with you because many of you are amazing leaders that are coming from other companies that have been given a promise. You set goals, and maybe it didn't work out for you there, but I'm here to share with you what if it needed to not work out there so it can work out here for you. And again, full circle. That second picture was in Huntington Beach, California. Not quite Anaheim, right down the street. But at that convention, I was able to walk the stage and get recognized as the youngest and fastest six-figure earner. I brought my parents on the stage. I got to live that dream. I got to eat very well too, if you can't tell, right? You know, and at that point, what was crazy, I realized I spent so much time focusing on my business that I let other areas of my life slide. I was in a very toxic relationship. I was disconnected from my family. My health, my fitness wasn't there. And I said to myself, okay, now I need to start changing all these things. And what's amazing about that company is that's where I got reunited with Mr. Tim Herr and Mr. Chris Kim. In fact, that's where I started working with Mr. Chris Kim for the first time. And that's where I met Miss Betty Perez for the first time, a young 19-year-old girl at the time who had the confidence to have the vision to walk into a well-established company and change their whole model. And it was beautiful while it lasted. And what's crazy about it is when I look at all those things is what reaffirms why Reman is powerful. Because all the leaders built that company was so powerful, so great. But then the ownership thought they were the ones that did it. And it reminded me that as leaders, we are nobody without our people. Because if you think you're leading and no one's following you, guess what? You're just taking a walk. Does that make sense? So I left. I actually quit network marketing. But I took the skills, and here's what's amazing. The skills, the knowledge, the personal development you get here will translate into other areas of your life. Because the skills it takes to succeed here, guess what? It's the same skill set that's going to allow you to build a healthy relationship, a healthy body, get closer in your faith. Does that make sense? And that last picture was a couple months ago. You see, when Tim and Chris approached me about Reman, I was at a point in my life where I wasn't looking for something different. I wasn't looking for something new, let alone network marketing. Does that make sense? But I came out of respect for them because of what they've been able to do for me. And Chris didn't even tell me what I was coming down to. I went to the convention. Told me just show up. I didn't know it was a convention. I was in a tank top and joggers. Introduced me to the owners, made me sit in the front row. I was so uncomfortable. I was just like, why am I here? I didn't want to like it. How many of you have never wanted to like something? Why is that? Because you're afraid that you will like it. Because the thing about network marketing, once you get that itch, it never goes away. Because you can make money doing a lot of different things, but where else can you make money benefiting people? So for me, that was powerful. And as I sat there, my walls were up, but one by one, the company crossed all the checkpoints. It's a 5-star opportunity. Can we agree? We have great products, yes or yes?
Yes!
Some companies say they have wow factor products. Does that make sense? But when you look at our products, you look at our results, the before and after pictures, it's not wow. It's like WTF. Now, for those of you that don't know what WTF means, it means, well, wow, that's fantastic. So if you want to seem cool in front of your kids, next time they come home with an A, be like, WTF, son. Promise you, they're going to get a good reaction, right? And so I got started in Reman because I trusted them. I wasn't ready to build yet because I still had trauma. I said, man, I knew what it took to climb that mountain. Am I really ready to do that again? And Chris said to me, he goes, this time it's going to be different. He says, you're older, the products are different, the market's different, the ownership's different. I mean, think about it. You guys got a chance to see some of our opportunity videos, the sizzle videos. Are they amazing or what? Yes. The company spares no expense. It's quality. It's luxury. It's something that you can stand behind. It's something that you wouldn't even think is a network marketing product if you looked at it. And once I made the decision, well, a couple things, right? Chris was like, hey, you gotta do this. It's such a waste of your talent if you don't build this. But I also want to thank my partner, my significant other, Ms. Yvonne too, because she said to me something that really stuck out to me. And as a guy, I kind of have an ego, and she said to me, like, why not go all in on this? I said, well, I have a lot on my plate, you know. I'm a celebrity group fitness trainer. I teach boxing-inspired classes for a major brand called Rumble Boxing. I have a couple projects with a small company called Lululemon. Have you guys heard of Lululemon? Right now, a workout mirror. I was their boxing instructor for the workout mirror. I fill on-demand classes. I just finished a project that's going to launch this month for a small company called Meta, Facebook. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes.
So for me, I was like, I don't know about the time. And she said to me two things. She goes, look, it's not about having the time, it's about making the time, and the time we have, making it quality. And the second thing she said to me, she said, everybody talks about the network marketing Julian Doan. I want to experience the network marketing Julian Doan. Now, for all the ladies in the room, if you want to get your significant other motivated, you got to speak to its greatness. You got to speak to their power. Men and women are different, and I believe that, this is my personal belief, all men want to feel is respected. That's why some men spend so much time at their job. They spend so much time at the gym, because there they feel like they're respected. In that moment, the respect that she gave me, the encouragement, I said, okay, let's do it. In less than 45 days from making that decision, I was able to hit the position of team leader. Okay? Now, all that was possible because of one thing. And that's my topic, game plan. How many want to learn how to game plan your business? Say aye. So let's talk about it. Move forward, right? Here's my promise to you. 6 months from now, you can be in a totally different place, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. If you do the work. Life is very fair. Life is very giving. And what I mean by that is if you show up, do the things you need to do the things you're supposed to do, you'll be rewarded proportionally, okay? So, why is having a game plan important? Well, we gotta understand, what's the difference of no game plan versus game plan, right? I learned this from Mr. Danny Bay, right? When you have no game plan, you're just taking action. When you have a game plan, you're taking inspired action. Does that make sense? Right? When you're building with no game plan, you're just building and chasing volume. When you're building with a game plan, you're chasing momentum. Does that make sense? Okay? With no game plan, you're building by default. With a game plan, you're building by design. With no game plan, you're adding to your business. But with a game plan, you're multiplying your business. With no game plan, you're directionless. Right? And I know some people go, well, hey, if it's God's will, it's going to happen. Jesus, take the wheel. Let me tell you something. Jesus was born 2,000 years ago. Cars did not exist. I trust Jesus with a lot of things, but maybe not driving. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm just kidding. Jesus had a car. He had a Honda. He just didn't talk about it. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Look it up. It says, for I did not speak of my own accord. He's humble. Next. With no game plan, you're building with uncertainty. With a game plan, you're building with confidence. So a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the goal of every leader here is to get you started in your business. Now, some of you might say, well, I already have an ID number, I already bought product, I've already gotten started. No, in this business, there's 2 start dates. The day you get started, when you fill out the application for the products, and the day you really get started. That's the day when you draw the line in the sand and say, my life will never be the same. This is it. This is my time. I'm going to change my face. I'm going to change my finances. The business is in you. So how do we summarize this? How do we make this thing happen? There's an amazing story about a one-arm judoka, right? Judo. And this young boy got started in judo. He was very, very young. He was born with only one arm, didn't have confidence, and his parents decided to enroll him into judo to build his confidence. He was in it for about 2 years. And all he learned was one move. Practice it over and over again, over and over again. And here's what happened. After 2 years, his sensei enrolled him into a tournament. He was nervous, he was scared. He was like, I only know this one move. And what ended up happening, his first match against a 2-armed person, he won effortlessly. Second match, won effortlessly. Last match, won the gold. He went to his sensei, he says, I don't understand, how is this possible? How did I win? He says, well, there's only one move to learn in judo. You learned it, and the only way to defend it is for your opponent to grab your left arm, which you don't have. I honestly believe to succeed, you don't have to be great at everything. You just gotta be great at a select few things. It'll change everything. So in this business, there is that sweet spot. What is that one thing? Tracy Zimmer did a great job talking about customers. Is getting customers important? Right? But we also want to multiply our business and get customers getters, yes or yes? Yes. So what is that one sweet spot that will captivate all of that? And for me, that is reaching the position of senior manager. It is the position that was within reach for the average person. When you get started, you're talking about team leader, director, all this big income, the average person who's never made that will not believe they can do that. But at least the senior managers within reach, they believe they can do that. Okay, we already know the requirements of senior managers. We're not going to talk about that. But why is reaching senior manager important? Number one, it develops your success story. You got to develop your testimonial. Think about it. When you hit senior manager, did you get some customers, yes or yes? Did you get some customer getters, yes or yes? That's all you need to know. Number two, people do what you do, not what you say. Right? Everybody touch your forehead. Even the cool people. Touch your nose. Touch your chin. Yo, this is your cheek. Okay? Next, it establishes the right culture. Success breeds success. Okay? So why is helping your team reaching senior manager important? Because your team's income will grow faster. Okay? Not only that, your team will rank advance faster. Simplicity breeds duplication. 1 + 1 is 2. The moment you add letters into math, it's confusing. Does that make sense? Okay? Next, you put the law of explosive growth to work for you. Okay? And again, this is the biggest part. People don't know how much you care until they know. I mean, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay? So I'm going to wrap this up really quick. Okay? The success formula is very, very simple. Be to have. Most people have it backwards. They say, once I have the results, then I can do more, then I can be excited and be confident. Or they say, once I do this, do the work, and have the money, then I can be happy. No, those are places not to get to, it's a place to come from. It's about being confident, excited now, because that's what's going to change your action to get your results. Timber said it best. He said it's your attitude, not your aptitude determines your altitude. Your attitude is more important than everything else. That's why it's so important to be excited and let people see it, right? Repeat after me. Change your face, change your finances, okay? So work backwards. This is what my team is really good at. What rank do you want to have? Okay? What's the gap? What's the work that is needed? What's the volume? And what is the leadership requirement? Every rank has two major components. Leadership qualifications, as in people you need to develop, and volume, yes or yes?
Yes.
And then you ask yourself, how many senior managers do I need to promote in each leg to make that happen? Because think about it. If you get enough senior managers, what do you become? Team leader. Well, if you want to become a director, you got to develop some what? Team leaders. So what is a team leader a bunch of? Senior managers. So if you focus on building senior managers, all that other stuff is going to happen automatically, right? Next, what do I need? What do I need to do to make this thing happen? And then more importantly, who do I need to be to make this thing happen? And then take all-out massive action to make it happen. It's about working hard. Here's the best part about working hard. It works. Can you imagine if working stopped working? That would suck. Does that make sense? Now people go, well, Julian, is it important to work hard or work smart? This might be controversial, right? I believe in the beginning, working harder is more important than working smarter. I'll tell you why. And if you have a great plan that saves time, that's great. Work hard at that. But the challenge is most people use the term working smarter as an excuse to avoid doing the things they need to do that makes them uncomfortable. Yeah! It takes work. There's no way around it. Guess what? A great relationship takes work. A great body takes work, okay? I promise we're almost done. So how to maximize the game plan? Start with the end in mind. I followed this, we did this multiple times. First, with one of my team leaders, Alan Shu. No network marketing experience. I said, what do you want to have in this business? And then he gave me his goals. And I go, okay, what do we need to do? Identify the key players. Who are we going to develop as these leaders to help become senior manager? We made a list. We tracked it, right? And then I said to him, okay, cool. Who do you need to be to make this happen? He said, I need to be confident, I need to be assertive, I need to be direct. He made it happen. No network marketing experience, less than 45 days. Susan Manuello, another team leader. It was the end of the month in February. I told her she could do it. She called me at 1 o'clock. She was very emotional. She's like, Julian, I tried everything. I don't know. What else is there to do? I go, listen, there's going to be obstacles in the way, but the obstacle in the way is the way. If you're driving down the freeway and a car stops in front of you, what do? You go around it. You don't stop. You go around it. Does that make sense? So when there's an obstacle, you go around it. Go, okay, cool. Let's brainstorm. Who do you know that's close to manager that we can promote to hit the senior manager? She made it happen. Another story. Marisol Herrera.
Yeah!
When all the promotions was happening, she was sitting there and she was burning up inside. She was 9,000 away from hitting team leader. She was 4 managers away. And I was showing it to Yvonne, my partner. She says, we need to make sure we wrap it up. We need to make sure we get it done. I was like, hey, I'm going to have to step outside. We're going to have to make this thing happen. She's like, I believe in you. Do it. I'll take care of the team. I'm like, that. We talked to Marisol. We got the whole group out there. And we painted a vision that not only is about her. Her victory is a team victory. Her victory, all ships ride with the tides. They need her to push her up so she can pull them up. But not only that, when they get promoted along the way, we get to create their story. We're at convention. Imagine how great it is. You came to convention, you're posting pictures. People are like, what are you doing? Right? Then you get promoted. That's attraction marketing. Results is attraction marketing. For me, at least. Okay? So again, start with the end in mind. Visualize the result. Avoid the emotional roller coaster. By show of hands, how many of you know the emotional roller coaster? If you didn't raise your hand, I promise you, this week you're gonna have both hands up. Does that make sense? You gotta learn to discipline your disappointments. Okay? If something great happens, great. If something bad happens, it's gonna make a great story later. And the funny thing about discipline is the biggest key. And Mike Tyson said it best. Okay? He said, Discipline is doing the, no, I'm just kidding, right? He said discipline is doing the things you don't want to do like to love. That's powerful. So track your progress, okay? Next action steps, leaving here. Here's your next couple steps. Number 1, become senior manager by the next pay period deadline. Make it happen. Number 2, help someone else become a senior manager in 3 separate legs. Number 3, once you do that, help your 3 senior managers do the same thing. Now you're on track to team leader. Once you make that happen, guess what? Repeat the process with 3 new legs and help them hit senior manager. Okay? So with that being said, I know there's a lot of Vietnamese people here in the room. Y'all are my family. I just want to leave a quick message for y'all. Xin chào quý vị, mấy anh chị em. Xin lỗi tiếng Việt Nam của anh không có rành lắm. Và tên của anh tiếng Việt Nam là Vũ Đoàn. And hôm nay anh muốn nói mấy anh chị em, anh yêu em, come on. To my Taiwanese family, I want to say, Ni hao, 我爱你, 谢谢. To my Korean family, Junon Julian Inida, 사랑해, 감사합니다. I'm Julian Doan.